Alright, so what's up guys? I haven't actually done a overview video on the bike since I've got all the mods done to it that I wanted to do. So I figured I'd do that today. I haven't done anything crazy on this bike and I have no intentions of doing anything crazy. I use this bike to commute back and forth to work, to go explore dirt roads. I'm not off riding single track on it or doing anything crazy. So keep that in mind as I mention the things I've done, and that's why I haven't done some stuff. Like for example, I haven't done any kind of crash bars. The only thing I haven't done that I may consider doing is the Camel ADV radiator braces, but at this point I haven't done that. So starting at the front, after the stock tires wore out, I went with a Dunlop D605. Really happy with it so far. Can be a little slick on wet pavement, but if the pavement's wet, I'm not trying to set any speed records anyway. I currently have the Tusk hand mitts on. These come on and off, just weather dependent. Right now it's winter time, so they're on. And that helps a lot with commuting to work. I commute all the way down to about 40 degrees. So, you know, if I was riding in colder weather, maybe heated grips or something. We are running the short Tusk handlebar risers. I think they're 15 millimeter tall. Inexpensive way to move the handlebars up. I'm perfectly happy with the bend of the stock bar, so until I go down or potentially bend them, I've got no interest in getting different bars. We went with the Acerbis or Acerbis, depending on how you like to pronounce it, plastic skid plate. I have seen on more than one occasion someone post where they've busted through that and destroyed the sump of the engine, but they're also riding this bike way rougher than I am. That thing's very thick, very durable. I've run the plastic ones like that on other bikes in the past that saw rougher terrain than this, like true dirt bikes, and for how I'm using the bike, that's going to be perfectly adequate, and you know, save $70 or $80 over the next cheapest aluminum other option, you know. Moving on back from that, we've got the Nelson Rig dual sport bags, rackless bags. You would have to figure out a way to connect them in the back if you didn't have a tail rack. I've got the Tusk tail rack and have them strapped to that in the back, but I'm sure you could figure something out. You could hook this strap and the other side together and come underneath the light. You could figure something out. The cross straps go underneath the seat just fine. You got to get them spaced kind of just right to get the seat to latch in, but they do work. It looks like they're kind of pulled pretty tight, but they're really not. Good amount of storage on those. I almost went with the Tusk bag, but it's a little smaller. I think it was 9 or 10 liters. These are 13. And then if you expand the zipper on the front, you bump that 13 out to 15. And then for the exhaust, all I've done is take out the baffle and then put the stock end cap back on. People go back and forth on whether you should do that or not. Yes, that baffle has a spark arrestor in it. I'm not advocating running with no spark arrestor if the area you live in requires it and things like that. However, it still has the factory exhaust. So it's a 3-chamber muffler. You've got cats. I mean, unless you're just banging off the rev limiter non-stop, I don't think you're going to get hot enough to be passing sparks through. So that's my opinion on it, and it is just that, an opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. Haven't done a tail tidy or anything, and to be honest with you, don't think I'm going to. I may at some point just try to go to a smaller, less intrusive looking blinker, possibly like a flush mount that sticks onto the side or something. But I'm really not that concerned with it. As far as stock fenders go, this one's not that bad to look at in my opinion compared to some. And so again, you can't see it really well, but we do have the Tusk rear rack on here. And the only reason I really have that is so I can have something to mount my tail bag to. Now, this tail bag's nothing pretty to look at. In my opinion, it does look better than one of them giant aluminum cases. But again, opinions. And I've used a brake press to bend a thin sheet of aluminum. And then I bolt to that tusk rack. And there's pads in front. So that doubles as a backrest, and you can put a good bit of force on it. Like, there's no way my wife's going to be pushing back against it to the point that she bends it. This bag has been with me since the beginning of the KLR. That's like the first thing I did when I brought the KLR home was I went to an ammo store, bought a $10 ammo bag, cut the carrying straps off of it, and then bent the plate and bolted that to the KLR. So this has seen across all the bikes it's been on over the years, 20,000 on the KLR miles. It's probably seen in total at least 33 to 35,000 miles. And while it's nothing pretty to look at, it's kind of faded, it still works. And the only other thing we've done is the Camel heavy duty spring for the kickstand. If you've ridden one of these bikes stock, then you know that if you hit any kind of bump, you can just hear the kickstand try to move down and then slap back up. So that fixes that. And it kind of is a big deal, because if you do not delete the kickstand safety switch, then if you're riding along some washboard and your kickstand starts to, really hopping with the washboard you're going across, then it'll activate the kickstand safety switch and the engine will start cutting in and out, which I've also deleted the kickstand safety switch, but I just got tired of hearing the noise. We're running Tusk 2-track on the rear. I'm liking that tire so far, no issues there. And that is it. I know these bikes are popular mod. People throw thousands of dollars at them. But for how I use it, commuting back and forth to work, the occasional 2-up ride with my wife, and then just dirt road riding and exploring that sometimes involves a decent amount of highway to get to those dirt road areas. Other than either crash bars, in case you go down on the gravel at decent speed, or the radiator brace, I really don't see a need to throw any more money at it than this. The only other thing I've done, which your bike may vary, but my front fender was slammed down as low as it would go, and we do know that the high fender is a popular kit for these because you'll clog mud. Granted, I don't ride this through much mud. When I had the tire off, I went ahead and loosened all them up and raised it up as high as it would go, mainly just for that reason, and the off chance I do find myself in some mud. So there it is. It's, again, nothing special. There's 1,000 other prettier ones to look at. It's been modded way better. But if you're just going to be using it how I've described how I use it, kind of light duty for a bike that's this capable, again, I don't see any reason to throw any more money at it than that. Again, possibly lower crash bars and a radiator brace if you didn't want to do the full crash bars, or go ahead and do the full crash bars. But I haven't put aftermarket handguards on, still just running the stocks. If I was to break those, I probably would. If I know I'm going to be going out and doing a lot of highway, I have drilled holes, and I've got a video on my channel, a short, showing how I just space this up. It's super easy. It's easy to undo these 4 screws, slide it up, and get it looking square and mark the spot. So if I know I'm going to be doing a ton of highway riding, I can raise that up. But I'm 5'7", so I'm fairly short, and I'm fairly long-legged. So sitting on the seat, my head's pretty low down for 5'7". So I really don't raise it up that often. But there's been a time or two where it's helped to have it raised up, but I generally keep it in the lower position. And if I'm going to be doing anything crazy, I got the old farm bike for that. So again, don't see the need to modify it any more than that. So don't think if you're going to be, unless you're going to be doing some crazy stuff with it, don't think that don't get caught in the trap of just modding the crap out of things. I mean, if you got the money for it, sure, but I certainly don't. So anyways, there's an overview of the entire bike. Like I said, I've never really done a video showing everything I've done, which isn't a lot. I just mention here or there in videos that I added, the skid plate, or I'm running new tires or whatever. But one thing I would like to do, I have not even looked, but as a machinist, it caught my attention, is I would love if somebody made a new cross brace here that was this diameter, so it's and bolted up the same and everything, but between the plastic edges was 7/8 diameter. That way phone mounts could just go straight onto that. That would be pretty sweet. I don't know if anybody makes anything like that, but again, as a machinist, I could grab some Delrin plastic at work and maybe pull that off myself at some point in time. Just black plastic. That Delrin's pretty tough. You wouldn't have to worry about it breaking or cracking or doing anything. It's a solid 7/8 diameter. So yeah, again, there she is, and that's all I've done to it, and that's all I plan to do it, with the exception of possibly radiator braces. So let me know what you think in the comments. Have I missed anything that you think I really do need for, kind of higher speed, smoother dirt road riding? I feel like I haven't. Again, stuff can happen. You could go down, and I could certainly maybe benefit from some crash bars, but I'm kind of rolling the dice on that. And that's it for this one.